Alright guys, Cubby here with my reviews for this week. I got to do Punks #1 by Joshua Halfikaloff. I believe that's how you say it. I don't know. Bobby was the one that interviewed him. I didn't. But either way, it was a pretty good book. It's actually like a little, I wouldn't say anthology book, but it's a couple different short stories that are, I thought it was going to be a lot more punk rock, but in a sense it is very punk in that it is not like a traditional comic book whatsoever. It's very weird, it's very crazy, it has its own thing, it's very humorous, does not take itself seriously whatsoever at all. Not trying to change your political views or anything like that. I thought it was going to be like a more, I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was going to be more of like a story about some punk rock kids at a boarding school or something like that from what it looked like. Actually, nothing like that, and it's just like this really ridiculous thing with a guy that has a dog head and a fist and an Abraham Lincoln. So if you're into weird and craziness and interesting art that kind of makes you think about how you can make a comic book, check it out. For that reason alone, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls because it was pretty cool and it has a game in it that you can make.
So I just got to check out Wytches, the new Scott Snyder horror title out of Image Comics. I'm a huge fan of Scott Snyder's horror titles, especially, I mean, of course, yes, he writes a great Batman. He writes a great American Vampire, but when he wrote Severed and The Wake, I mean, it really created, he kind of created his own genre. I know horror title has been around, but I mean, like, his kind has been, it's just something completely new. So Jock's on artwork. I really have a hard time understanding what Jock has got going on some pages sometimes. I love his artwork, but sometimes it's kind of a little confusing. This book happens for about a page, and then you're completely on board. You know what's going on. So the first page, it starts out in 1919, and there is a woman who is being pledged. Somehow she's inside of a tree. I don't know how that's possible. Something to do with sorcery, perhaps. And then we are pushed forward to 2014, and we are brought to our main character, Sale, kind of weird name, and her father as he's walking her to the bus. And warning her about, not having to worry about the bullies and learning about what she's known for and what she did, which is interesting. They do go into that in this book. I want to know where that goes. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but this is a great book. I can totally see it's going to be another one of my favorites out of Scott Snyder. Jock's artwork is definitely a good compliment to his writing. So I'm going to give this book 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls because everyone should read it, so check it out.
All right, guys, so I got to read Avengers #36 as well this week. Always my favorite book to come out. For a good long time, Avengers has been up there. This one, though, the last one was a really sweet. 8 months later, whole crap, something's going down, Margie, like, it's big time. This one felt like it took a step back, eased off the pedal, went down a gear, actually went up a gear and relieved the stress on the engine, whatever. It just kind of like explained a little bit too much to me, but it didn't even really explain too much. It just kind of set up what was going on, why things were doing this, why people were doing this, the motivations for certain actions. But in a grand scale kind of way. There was no big action, there was no big craziness. It was good though. It's good to see where these characters and their building and stuff. And I know with a Hickman book, for every issue that you get that's nothing but character building, you're going to get one that's going to be insanely crazy and intense. And this is a series that's really amping up for it with 2 people that might not be recurring in this. And it's really sad because I really like these 2 characters. One's been around forever and I love them for it. And the other was pretty much a recent addition that I feel has really made an impact on the team, on his history, on everything, on the mark that he's going to make with the Avengers and with fans. So I'm really upset to see where this goes. But I'm honestly, it's a comic book, so it's probably not going to be that bad. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls and ask you to let me know what you think.
Hey fellow nerds, Jasper here, and I just got done reading Hawkeye VS Deadpool issue 1. This is an issue that I thoroughly enjoyed as, actually, you know what, let me go back and explain that the way that this title is actually perceived is not exactly what it is. Hawkeye vs. Deadpool is just a misplaced title. Now going back to where I originally was, I did enjoy this book due to the fact that Hawkeye and Deadpool team up and they find a hacker who has a bunch of names of SHIELD operatives who ends up dying in front of Hawkeye's apartment, and they get to the bottom of it and try to find out who or what, inquired the names and why they're needed. As you go through the book, going through various sources and more of a detective work between Deadpool and Hawkeye, you soon find out that Black Cat is somewhat involved. And as they get closer to the, well, not potential truth, because this is the first issue, they end up getting into a pretty cool battle with would-be superheroes, as you have a bunch of drones and characters dressed up as superheroes who are mindless and under mind control and are pretty much doing their will. You don't get too far at the very end of the issue because this is just the introductory issue, but I did enjoy it due to the fact that you have your goofball comedic scenes with both Hawkeye and Deadpool. With that, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. I say check it out and see what comes up in the second issue.
All right, guys, so I get to read Axis #1, a book I pretty much didn't know I was going to be waiting for. If you read Uncanny Avengers at any point, I mean, the seeds are planted in the very, 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 very beginning of that book. And holy balls, it is so intense. Like every other page, it starts off with an insanely awesome, humorous, lighthearted take, almost too lighthearted, almost not enough to get you ready for what's going to happen. But the Avengers, with this great banter, Rick Remender just does this amazing job having these characters talk to each other and talk smack before they're about to go smack some stuff down. But being that we know, everyone should know, the Red Onslaught is the bad guy, being a mashup between the Red Skull and Professor Xavier, which is nuts to begin with. Knowing that he's the bad guy, I mean, things start to escalate very fast, and things get crazy very fast. In a way that it's kind of like, how is anything gonna be changed from this? Of course, Tony Stark has a way to do it. And as we go on to the story, there's a lot of jaw-dropping moments in this. And some of them are a little more intense than others. Some of them are just kind of like, why did you do that? Why is this happening? What is going on? And of course, there's good guys fighting good guys. They make their, reconciliations with each other, but it doesn't end, it's still #1, but it doesn't end with a good forecast for the future. Let's put it that way. Some people go through their things, blah, blah, blah. They go through emotions and they feel and they come together. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're throwing you into you went from the fryer into the fire, but actually that fire is Mount Doom and you're Gollum and you're completely consumed in lava. Like, it's nuts. It's crazy. I can't wait to see where this goes. The implications of this are going to be nuts. And I mean, we're already kind of seeing things in Avengers and things like that. Like the ending isn't completely open, or I mean completely closed. You kind of know that everyone's going to be okay for the most part, but they're nuts. And it's really nuts. I can't wait to see how this plays out, being that it's probably my favorite villain, the one I hate the most, because he's so easy to hate. It's actual hatred that you can have for this person because he is a harbinger of hate, the Red Skull. He's a terrible person. So he's absolutely my favorite villain because he's the one I don't want around the most. Dr. Doom I can deal with. He's a guy. This person, Doc Ock I can deal with. He's just a person. All these other great villains. Joker gives him a run for his money because he's just nuts. But the Red Skull has like a overzealous vendetta against the world. And now he has the most powerful mutant's mind to use that and control everyone. And it's absolutely insane. If you liked any part of Uncanny Avengers, if you liked the first 3 issues of Uncanny Avengers when John Cassidy was still drawing it, it pretty much mirrors what's going on in there, but on a scale that's way more massive than anything you can ever think of. Okay, maybe not anything you can ever think of, because Infinity was pretty massive. This is a little less than that, because it's focusing on Earth, but it's dealing with way more personal things and way more personal characters. And instead of being the scope of the universe like a Hickman event book, it's more like a Bendis book where you're feeling everyone's emotions internally and within the group and how they deal with that. And I like that so much more. Even though I love Hickman and his events in the last couple that he's done, I feel this is such a good change of pace for Marvel and more along the lines of what they are known for and what they should be doing. So this is a very long-winded review for a very short book about a lot of crazy things, and I feel this is one of the best event books I've read in a long time. I can't wait to see the fallout from this so much, even though we already kind of are, but I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Even the artwork. I hate the artist, but I love it. It's so good. So I'm giving it 5 out of 5 nerd skulls. I would give it more.
Hey guys, so I just got done reading Batman issue 35. This is a big smackdown of a book. I really enjoyed the fact that you go into details of Batman having a hallucinatory situation where he gets beat down in big proportions. It then goes into the issue of just total chaos. Bruce pretty much has a mind trip through Scarecrow's fear toxins, but as the book progresses, you find out that he is battling all of the Justice League members. You go from Wonder Woman to Flash to everyone, and you come to find out that there's more serious matters that really the whole book was building up to. You don't know why the Justice League's fighting Batman. You don't know to what scenarios the outcome may be, but you do realize that there's a big problem that Batman ends up using the mechanical bat suit to fight off each member. So you see different tactics on how he takes down each member, which is exactly why we love Batman. But the very end of it is a not even a plot twist. You find out what is going array here, but you don't know why, and that's why you definitely need to check and tune into the second issue. But other than the fight, that's all it's worth, and I did enjoy it though, so that's why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 nerd skulls.
All right, guys, so I got to read Earth 2 World's End #1 from DC, and pretty much the first half of this book is kind of filling you in on things that have been going on in Earth 2. Now, I don't have a huge knowledge of it. I have not been reading all of it. I've gotten a few things here or there. I kind of know, for the most part, what's going on. But this gives you a full rundown of kind of everything, of how Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, what they've gone through, all the new characters coming in. And it's kind of pushing you towards where Future's End is going, which is really, really sweet because there's a lot of things in Future's End that are a little weird. And this is kind of giving you those things, giving you those aspects of the story. It's really sweet in that aspect. The artwork, to me, is like most DC books that aren't their top tier books with their top name artists. It's not terrible in any means, but it's not like mind-blowingly awesome. It was really good though, and it worked with the story. Didn't take away from it, but it didn't add anything, in my opinion. There was some cool panels and things like that, but it wasn't like, oh man, this is so sweet. And there was a lot of books I felt like that this week that were really pushing the boundaries on what you can do with that stuff. So unfortunately, it was just kind of like a basic comic book, but the story is actually really, really sweet, especially if you don't know too much of the Earth 2 world. It kind of fills you in on everything you need to know. Doesn't give you all the bull crap, doesn't hype up someone's sexual orientation because that matters in the world at this point. It just gives you what a good comic should, and it's a great story that doesn't get held up on stupid art or this or that or anything. So check it out, because it was actually really sweet to read. I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 nerd skulls. All right, guys, so I got to read Future's End #23 as well this week. And now this is a book that is hitting its stride. It's a weekly book coming out for a whole year, and we're about to hit the halfway mark, and we're starting to get some crazy answers. And honestly, I feel I have way more questions than answers. You kind of find out who the bad guy is, who the main bad guy is. It feels a little bit like Infinite Crisis, all the lead up to that, where someone is trying to make something for the good of mankind when it actually isn't really for the good of mankind. It actually is gonna be negative for a lot of people, and it's gonna mess up a lot of lives. Which it feels like it's kind of robbing that, taking that away, doing it in its own way, which is cool, but at the same time, I just feel like I've read this story before, I've read part of this before. Still blown away, absolutely blown away. This crazy fight that happens in the beginning is nuts, and you have no idea what the hell's going on, and I mean, your heroes barely escape from it, so I want to see where that goes. The teaser that's in it, it's in actually like most of the DC books right now, but the teaser that they drop is really nuts, and it shows you a few things of like where things are going to go. And there's something that shows up at the end of this. It's connected to Mr. Terrific, it's connected to Batman, it's connected to a lot of things, and Brother Eye, which looks like it's going to be the main bad thing. Not to give too many spoilers away, but I'm pretty sure you saw this coming already. If you know anything about DC Comics, you know Brother Eye is not necessarily the best thing in the world. So that being said, the last page is one of the most jaw-dropping things I've ever read from a DC book, being that I would never imagine DC to put something like this in a book with this character and this other character involved in it. Absolutely nuts, and I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm going to give this 5 out of 5 points.
Hey guys, Brandon from Nerdlocker here, and if you like the review you just saw, why don't you check out some more of our reviews over here, right on the side, through the magic of editing.